Next one is the superclass methods. Otherwise, so please concentrate. You know already class contains how many elements? 5 elements. For example, class tester. So this is a parent class. Now parent class variables. So just now parent class variables are completed. What next one here? So parent class method, parent methods. Next one we will discuss parent class constructors. Then we will discuss parent class instance blocks. The last one, parent class static blocks. Once these 5 elements are completed parent class level, then inheritance concept will be completed. So just now we completed how many points here? Only 1 point. So parent class variables are completed. So completion of current class variables, it will take some time, but parent class variables, simple example, an example is enough. Point is clear? Good. The next one here, parent class methods. Ratan, how to represent the parent class method? Ratan, can please check the example once. Example, I am declaring class parent. In the parent class, I am declaring void m1 method. In the m1 method, I am writing just SOP statement. What is SOP here? System.out. Println of. Here I am writing this is my m1 method. So assume this is my m1 method. So I declared class child. The class child extends which class? Obviously parent class. So here it contains m2 method. This is my m2 method. This is my m3 method. This is my m2 method. If with different names, no problem. This we can call directly. But the problem with the naming conventions problem with if it is having same name. So parent class contains m1 method, child class also contains m1 method. Both are having m1 method. Now here I declared void m2. In the m2 method, I would like to call child class m1 method. I would like to call parent class m1 method. Now concentrate. In the m2 method, I am trying to call. Just I am assuming one is the parent class method, one is the child class method. In this scenario, so I am declaring main method. In this scenario, I am declaring main method. What the main method syntax here? Public static void main. Just I declared string array args. So you know generally always to reduce the length of the code, I am using nameless object. So the new child dot m2 method. I am calling m2 method. When we call m2 method, the m2 method is calling how many methods internally? 2 methods. We are thinking child class m1, parent class m1. So here better to change this value to the parent m1. Now here this is my child m1. Point is clear? So can please trying to execute, compile and execute the values. Code is compiled and trying to execute the child class. What is output here? So check the output carefully. So child class m1, child class m1. 2 times child class only printed. Why? First priority goes to child class only. First priority goes to child class. Now then how to overcome this problem? So to overcome this problem, just a small point. To represent the current class method, this here, if you are not using this keyword also, current class methods only executed. Here this keyword is mandatory, absolutely in this case. This is, tell me, optional. This is optional. But to represent this is a superclass methods. To represent the superclass method, we must use the super.m1. So this dot m1 and super.m1. So control S. So do the compilation. Code is compiled. Java, which class contains main method here? Child class contains main method. Can please check once here. Child class m1 is printed and parent class m1 will be printed. So point is clear. So this is a representation of parent class methods. Point is clear. So here we completed parent class variables. The simple points. So parent class variables and the parent class methods also completed. The next one is the parent class constructor. This one is a big task. Parent class constructor is a big task. So I already completed this key, which one? Current class constructors. Tell me how to call the current class constructors. Call the current class constructors by using this keyword, example 1. So which one? This inside the constructor, this keyword must be first statement. Inside the constructor, this keyword must be first statement. Number 3, one constructor is able to call only one constructor. We completed this point at which one? Constructor level. Now here which class constructor it is? Parent class constructor. Current class constructor calling, use this keyword. Obviously parent class constructors, then use what? Super keyword. Point is clear. Current class constructor call by using this keyword. Parent class constructor call by using super keyword. So clear? Now I will write the examples of parent class constructors. Nearly I will give the 6 or 7 examples regarding parent class constructors. So once you understand the parent class constructors, the instance blocks, static blocks is easy. So clear? So check the, so anyhow you know that points, right? Constructor rules and regulations. Tell me what are the rules and regulations of constructors? Without knowing the basics of Java, don't watch these inheritance videos and super keywords and all. Without basics, you are unable to understand these points. First of all, you must know the current class members, then only think about the parent class members. Without knowing the current class member, how you understand parent class members? Not possible. So without knowing the basics, don't watch this video. So first of all, watch the basic videos, then start learning these parent class members. So clear? Good. So now I will write the examples regarding parent class constructor. Check it. Now this is example regarding super class methods. If both names are same, then the super class methods. So the next example is belongs to super class constructors. Coming to super class constructors, the super class constructors. So here there's one important. So I declared class parent in the parent class. So you know parent class constructor, right? So parent class constructor name, class name same. So now tell me, here I'm writing system.out.println. This is my parent class. How many argument constructor? Tell me. 0 argcons. In the same way, I declared child class. The child is extending which class? Obviously parent class. Here I am writing the child class constructor, open brace, closure brace. Now here the system.out. So tell me here println of system.out.println of. This is which class constructor here? So child class 0 arg constructor. This is my child class 0 argument constructor. In the child class only I am declaring one more constructor with one argument constructor. This is the child class 1 argument constructor. Then in the child class only I am declaring main method, public static void main. Now tell me string array args. Here just I am using nameless object always. New child of. I am calling just new child of. When we call the new child of, which constructor executed? Child class 0 argument constructor will be executed. While executing child class 0 argument constructor, I would like to call current class 1 argument constructor. While executing child class 0 argument constructor, I would like to call current class 1 argument constructor. So you know, to call the current class constructors, use which keyword here? This keyword. So this of how many arguments I would like to call? 1 argument constructor, just I am passing 10. Then which constructor is executed? So 1 argument constructor will be executed. In the 1 argument constructor, while executing 1 argument constructor, I would like to call parent class 0 argument constructor. I am calling 0 arg calling 1 arg. While executing 1 argument constructor, I would like to call parent class 0 argument constructor. Ratan, how to call the parent class 0 argument constructor, Ratan? So to call the parent class 0 argument constructor, use super keyword. Parent class is expecting how many arguments? 0 arguments. Here I am not passing any arguments here. Now point is clear. This is example 1 regarding your super class constructors. So tell me, based on this example, what is the output? So what is the output? This is the example number 1. What is the output here? So assume So what is the output? New child. So we are using one argument, zero argument constructor. Zero argument, this keyword is there. So this keyword is calling one argument constructor. One argument constructor is calling parent class constructor, right? First parent class constructor will be executed. So parent class zero arg constructor will be printed. Then who is calling parent class constructor? This one. Then child class one argument will be printed. Who is calling child class one argument here? Zero arg. So then child class zero argument constructor will be printed. Now tell me in this case what is the output here? Parent class zero argument constructor, child class one argument constructor, and child class zero argument constructor. Now control S. So do the compilation. Code is compiled. So Java, obviously how many classes created? 2 classes, parent and child. Which class contains main method? Child class contains main method. So can please check once. So first parent class zero arg, then child class one arg, then child class zero argument constructor will be executed. This is a basic example. Example number 1. So tell me any doubts? So to call the current class constructor, this to call the super class constructor, super keyword, nothing. I hope everything is fine. Good. The next example, example number how much? 2. In example number 2, simple example. In example number 2, just I am using this super keyword. This removed super keyword here. I placed a super keyword here. So in the super keyword I am placing second keyword. You know, inside the constructor this keyword must be first statement. Inside the constructor this keyword must be first statement. You know that point. So let me check whether super keyword is also first statement or second statement. Tell me, super keyword also must be first statement, otherwise we can write super second statement also, no problem. So here control S. So do the compilation. What it's saying here? Call to super must be first statement in constructor. Call to super must be first statement in constructor. So what is the conclusion number 2? In the conclusion number 2, so inside the constructor this keyword must be first statement, and this keyword must be first statement, and super keyword also must be first statement. That is example number 2. So check the conclusion of example 2. Inside the constructor super keyword must be first statement. Super keyword must be first statement. So clear. Now next example 3. In the example number 3, so concentrate, come to our example. In the example number 3 we will write like this. So now concentrate, I am writing here. Now tell me what is the output. What is the output? In the child class I am calling the current class zero argument constructor, super class zero argument constructor. Current class one argument constructor and super class zero argument constructor. Tell me what is the output. So generally, obviously you are thinking output or a compilation error. You are thinking output or compilation error. So it's generating compilation error. What is the compilation error? Just now you completed. Inside the constructor super keyword must be first statement. Now tell me, based on this example I will do the compilation if you want. So code is not compiled, super keyword must be first statement. So based on this one, tell me, can you please provide the conclusion? So what is the example number 3? Inside the constructor super keyword also must be first statement, but in this example, example number 3, inside the constructor it is possible to use either this keyword or super keyword. Inside the constructor it is possible to use either this keyword or super keyword. Both at a time possible or not possible here? Both at a time not possible. Why, Ratan? Both are must be first statement. So that reason both at a time is not possible. So clear. So that's information regarding example number 3. Example number 3 completed. Next example number 4. Now concentrate. Here one or zero argument constructor. Now tell me in this example what is the output. We are calling zero argument constructor. So in the program execution always starts from main. This is the example. In this example, program execution starts from main method. So in the main method, I'm asking zero argument constructor, I'm calling zero argument constructor. So zero argument constructor will be executed. While executing zero argument constructor, I would like to call superclass zero argument constructor. Superclass zero argument constructor. So now parent class zero argument constructor will be executed. If you want, do the compilation, code is compiled, code is executed. So parent class zero argument constructor and child class zero argument constructor is printed, right? It's not a great one. But here concentrate. Now here I removed zero argument constructor. Now tell me what is the output. In the child class we are trying to access superclass zero argument, but superclass zero argument constructor is available or not available? Not available. If the parent class zero argument constructor is not available, obviously it generates error message. So generate error message or not? So here it is not generating an error message. Code is compiled and code is executed. Tell me what is the reason? Code is compiled and code is executed. Tell me what is the reason? What is the reason here? Because here we are not declaring any constructor. If you are not declaring any constructor, which constructor is generated here? Default constructor will be generated, right? Default constructor is always how many argument constructor? Zero argument constructor. As part of constructor we complete this point. Default constructor is always how many argument constructor? Zero argument constructor. Implementations, empty implementations, right? Which implementations here? Empty implementations. So that's reason in this example when we call the superclass zero argument constructor, so parent class default constructor will be executed, which is having empty implementation. So that is reason it is not generating any output. So code is compiled, so code is executed. What is the output here? So child class zero argument constructor will be executed. Now what is the conclusion here? In this example, parent class default constructor is executing. Good. This is my example number 4. Parent class zero argument default constructor is executing. Good. And here one more example. Now concentrate. Here I am calling. So I am declaring parent class zero argument constructor. Now tell me in this case what is the output? So in this case generally what is the output? Parent class zero argument constructor, then child class zero argument constructor will be executed. Code is compiled, code is executed. So parent class zero argument constructor and child class zero argument constructor will be executed. Now tell me here, just I am changing parent class constructor as the integer a. So it is expecting how many arguments here? One argument. So here super of I would like to call one argument constructor. I am passing 10 value. So parent class one argument constructor I would like to call. So to call the parent class one argument constructor, just I am passing super of 10. So when we pass the super of 10, now tell me what is the output in this case here? Child class zero argument constructor will be executed. It is calling parent class one argument constructor. When it is calling parent class one argument constructor, first parent class one argument constructor will be executed. So if you want check it, code is compiled fine, code is executed. So parent class one argument constructor. So concentrate. Continuously I'm writing example, I'm compiling and I'm executing. So don't get boring. For every example pause it. In your systems or in your laptop, can please write the same example. Can please do the compilation and execution. Check the output. Compilation and execution and check the output. So don't sit idle, don't see the example continuously. If you are watching the video continuously, definitely you are getting boring. Don't watch the video continuously. So parallelly take one example, write that example in your laptop, compile and execute that example, then resume my video, then start watching second example. Hey Mr.Ratan, I am not doing any practical, directly I am listening your video continuously. Continuously you are listening my video means I am unable to do anything. So my suggestion here, so every video, every example, pause that one. So can please try to compile and execute, then do the practicals. So anyhow, in this example, what is the output here? You know the output, right? Good. But here in the parent class, I'm calling child class 0 arg here, but I'm calling super class 0 arg. But tell me here, when I call super class 0 argument, in the parent class super 0 argument constructor is available or not available? Parent class 0 argument constructor available or not available? Parent class 0 argument constructor is not available. The parent class 0 argument constructor is not available. So is not available means, I hope you are thinking, Ratan, parent class there is no 0 argument constructor, default constructor is generated na? There is no constructor, default constructor is generated. You are thinking like that. But so you are thinking obviously wrong. There is no constructor, default constructor is not generated. Why the default constructor is not generated means, the simple point here, inside the constructor, inside the class, if you are declaring at least one constructor, compiler is not generating default constructor. Inside the class, if you are declaring at least one constructor, compiler is not generating default constructor. That is reason, in the parent class we declared one constructor, right? The parent class we declared one constructor. That is reason default constructor will be not generated. I hope point is clear. So that is reason it generates error message. So remember that point. That point was little bit important. So generally you are thinking default constructor is generated, but the default constructor is not generated. Good. Not a great example. Leave it. This is next example. Tell me what is the output in this case. Always what is the output? What is the output? What is the output? Tell me what is the output in this case. Generally parent class 0 argument constructor, then child class 0 argument constructor. So do the compilation, do the execution. Parent class 0 argument constructor, child class 0 argument constructor. So good. Now here new child, can you please remove this super keyword. Now tell me what is the output. Now tell me in this case what is the output here. So I am not writing any super keyword, just we are calling child class 0 argument constructor, right? When we call the child class 0 argument constructor, this 0 argument constructor will be executed. So concentrate, I saved this application. If you want proof, check this test class. After test class, one blue color symbol is there, na? It seems to be saved. For example, if you are writing something, if you are not saved, red symbol. So I removed this one, I saved perfectly. Once you save this application, I hope based on your thinking, the output of this example, based on our discussions, the output of this example is child class 0 argument constructor, right? Child class 0 argument constructor will be printed. So code is compiled fine, code is executed fine. So but the output is parent class 0 argument constructor is printed and child class 0 argument constructor also printed. Now tell me what is the reason. What is the reason? Now here that example is little bit important. So in any constructor, if you are not writing this keyword and super keyword, if you are not declaring any this keyword, if you are not declaring any super keywords, if you are not declaring any this keyword or super keyword, then compiler generates the super keyword at first line of the constructor. So point is clear, compiler will generate super keyword at first line of the constructor, and this compiler generated super keyword is always 0 argument constructor calling. Compiler generated super keyword is always 0 argument constructor calling. So that is the reason here the output is, what is the output here? So parent class 0 argument constructor is printed and child class 0 argument constructor will be printed. If you want to check it. So in this case, tell me in this constructor any super keyword or this keyword? There is no super keyword or this keyword. Then compiler generate the super keyword at first line of the constructor. And compiler generated super keyword is how many argument constructor calling here? So 0 argument constructor calling. How many argument constructor calling here? 0 argument constructor calling. So clear. That is the reason it generates the output like this. Code is compiled, code is executed, same output is displayed. So code is generated by who generated this code? Compiler. Ratan, can you please give me some more explanation for this example? I declared integer a. So I declared integer a. Total how many constructors I declared here? 2 constructors. Here I am creating one more object. What is the second object? I passed 10 value. So for I am executing 0 argument constructor, I am executing 1 argument constructor. I'm executing 1 argument constructor. Now tell me, in this case, what is the output? Concentrate, always practicals. What is the output in this case? So tell me, in this example, any super keyword or this keyword in this case? In this constructor, any super keyword or this keyword? There is no super keyword, this keyword. Then compiler generates the super keyword at first line of the constructor and 0 argument constructor calling. This is code is generated by compiler. Tell me, generated code, compiler generated code. Now in this code also, in this constructor also, anyhow it is a 0 argument constructor or parameterized constructor. In this constructor, any super keyword or this keyword? No super keyword, no this keyword. Then compiler generates which keyword? Super keyword. So here, so generated by, tell me, generated by compiler. Generated by compiler. So here, any type of constructor. So don't stick with only 0 argument constructor. Any type of constructor, if you are not writing this keyword or super keyword, then compiler generate the super keyword at first line of the constructor. And compiler generated super keyword is always how many argument constructor? 0 argument constructor. Now control yes. So do the compilation, do the execution. So if you want to check it, parent class 0 arg, child class 0 arg. Once again parent class 0 arg, child class 0 arg. So this is the example, very important while developing the applications. So this is example 5 I pasted. So number of examples I discussed, some modifications. Good. This example is clear, I hope everyone. Test.java. So the conclusion, this conclusion is very important. For example, here integer a, this is one argument. Now this code is valid or invalid? This code is valid or invalid? Perfectly invalid, because here super keyword is generated, but in the parent class there is no 0 argument constructor. But in the parent class there is no 0 argument constructor. That is reason it generates error message. So clear? This example is very important. Ratan, you said last example is very good, excellent example, dangerous example, you know that point. But a small doubt, Ratan, small doubt. Ratan, this is also constructor. This is also constructor. Inside that constructor, any super keyword or this keyword? Any super keyword this keyword? Ratan, here also there is no super keyword, no this keyword. You said there is no super keyword, this keyword. Then compiler generate the super keyword at first line of the constructor, Ratan. At first line of the constructor. Obviously here also super is generated. Ratan, but where is the super class here? Where is the super class here? This is compiler generated code. Ratan, where is the super class? Where is the super class? 0 argument constructor. Just now in the inheritance starting, while explaining inheritance, I said one point. If you are extending the class, your class will become parent. If you are not extending any class, for the parent class, who is the parent? Here it is not extending any class. If it is not extending any class, internally who is the parent here? Object class, right? In this example, this is also constructor. In this constructor also super is generated. How many argument constructor calling? 0 argument constructor. In this case, object class default constructor is executing. Common doubt. That is a common doubt from you guys. So here, now what happened here? Parent class 0 argument constructor, object class 0 argument constructor will be executed. So point is clear. So this information regarding your super. So this is the object class of object class 0 default constructor will be executed. So great examples. And the final example, I will give one more example. So generally tell me, in this case, what is the output? What is the output? So very fast we must say the output. Clear? What is the output here? parent class 0 argument, child class 0 argument. Code is compiled, code is executed. Parent class 0 argument, child class 0 argument. But concentrate, here I removed the entire child class 0 argument constructor. There is no child class 0 argument constructor. Now tell me what is the output in this case. Then what is the output here? What is the output? Generally immediate answer from you guys. You are saying parent class 0 argument constructor Ratan. Oh, parent class 0 argument constructor means generally you are thinking in the child class, you are thinking Ratan child class default constructor is generated Ratan. In that default constructor no super keyword this keyword, then compiler generated super keyword Ratan. This code is generated by generated by compiler Ratan. So generally you are thinking like that. That is the reason output is parent class 0 argument constructor. You are saying like that. Obviously. So your assumption is correct. Obviously your output is correct. So no problem. Same thing. This entire code is generated by compiler only. Control S, do the compilation execution. Parent class 0 argument constructor will be executed. So in this example is important. In the child class 0 argument constructor is generated. In the 0 argument constructor, the 0 argument constructor super keyword also generated. This is information about your super class constructors. Information about super class constructors. Point is clear? Good. So I will give the explanation of all overview of the super class constructors. So check once. So example 1. So to call the superclass constructors, use super keyword. Example number 2. Inside the constructor super keyword must be first statement. Example number 3. Inside the constructor, it is not possible to use super keyword and this keyword both at a time. It is not possible to use super and this keyword both at a time. Example number 4. So in the child class, we are calling super class 0 argument constructor. In the parent class, there is no 0 argument constructor. In the parent class, there is no 0 argument constructor means default constructor will be created. Example number 5. What is example number 5? In any constructor, either 0 argument constructor or parameterized constructor, in any constructor, if you are not declaring this keyword or super keywords, if you are not writing this keyword or super keywords, then compiler generates super keyword at first line of the constructor. And compiler generated this keyword is always how many argument constructor calling? Tell me. How many argument constructor calling? 0 argument constructor calling. Example number 6. The last example we discussed, inside the child class default constructor is generating, in the default super keyword also generating. That is the reason what is output here? Parent class 0 argument constructor will be executed. So that is the information about your parent class constructors. So successfully this parent class constructors also completed. But I covered number of examples, check it. Parent class variables, super.a, super.b. Parent class methods, super.m1. Parent class constructor, super of 10, 20, 30, 40. So clear? The next element, what is the next element you will discuss? Parent class instance blocks. Parent class instance blocks. So clear?